Recording. Hey patrons, I am back with a birthday reading. This one was for Anna. And Anna, I just want to thank you for being so patient. As you know, I am recovering from surgery and I've had to catch up on a lot of work. I've been extremely busy. So I just want to thank you for your patience. And your reading request did require me to put in a little leg work. So here it is. So basically, you wanted to know, let me just go to your question. You wanted to know what major transit themes do you need to be aware of in 2022? So I compiled a list of some of your major transits that will be taking place in 2022. And I've taken from my book that I'm writing on transits, some of the possible manifestations of what could occur. So I'll be reading off some of these possible manifestations. So let's get started with January. So January, you have Saturn landing on your Mars. And with that being in your 8th house, there could be some situation that happens that's beyond your control. I will say watch your step around that time because you could injure your ankle or your lower leg. So just be careful. I'll just say just be more careful. But when you're dealing with transits that form conjunctions, it can be positive or negative, or it could be a combination of both because conjunctions are neutral. You can't just say, oh, this is definitely going to be a positive thing. You never know, especially when you're dealing with these outer planets. So here is some of what could occur when Saturn lands on your Mars. And then you also have to take into account that these are general possible manifestations. And then when you take your sign and house placement into account, then you can try to gain even more insight. So I already told you with this conjunction being an Aquarius that it does put you at risk for injuring your ankle or your lower leg. And you might have issues with your circulatory system as well. You might find that you have a pounding headache with Saturn landing on your Mars. But here are some of the possible manifestations. I won't read everything that I have written down, but I'll read some things that could be pertinent to your situation. So there could be a need to renew something, like the renewal of a contractual agreement, starting anew, but more so where you're kind of being forced or having to start from scratch, back to square one, wiping the slate clean, being promoted, and increase in productivity. I will say this is a good transit for starting a business. You could be putting forth a sustained effort towards something, but on the more negative end, production could grind to a halt. Unfinished business could resurface. You could have a meeting with destiny. Also, you could be taking a calculated risk. Also, you could become affiliated with an influential group or organization. You could be starting a new career path or just a new job in general. More about that in a minute because you got some activity going on in your 10th house that I'll get to in a minute. You could be entering into a new field or industry. This could be a chance encounter. You could be joining some type of workers union. Breaking new ground. Let's see what else. Being recognized for your hard work or ingenuity. Being rewarded for your efforts. You could be visited by strong sexual impulses, or you could find a need to just go through a period of celibacy. So you might decide not to engage in sex, or there could be issues with a sex partner, like a unsatisfactory sexual experience. It could be. And you might be facing the consequences of a prior action. Now, you have a major transit that's going to hit up your chart 3 times in 2022. Pluto is going to land on your Mercury, which is a very big deal. And let me see, I think your Mercury is at the 27 degree of Capricorn. Yes. So the first time that will occur will be on February 15th. Then it's going to become exact again on July 17th once it's retrograde. And then for a final time on December 23rd. So you might as well say this Pluto transit is going to be in effect for the entire year. So a lot could occur, positive or negative, in terms of this Pluto transit. So you could be conducting extensive research, uncovering hidden information, You could be involved in an investigation, or you could be in investigative mode. You could be playing the role of a detective, background check, a cathartic experience. You could be witnessing the power of speech. You could experience strong urges or temptations. You could be obsessed with some type of subject or a person. Your speech could become more compulsive, so you're really going to have to watch what you say. You could be a victim of a case of fraud. So just, make sure that your accounts are more secure. You might want to change your passwords prior to this transit becoming exact. One thing I have to also mention is, even though I'm giving you these exact dates, does not mean that these events, that these transits that are going to be happening are going to occur on the exact date. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they occur before the exact date. Sometimes they occur after the exact date. Just be aware that the energy of those transits will be the most intense on those exact dates. Also, what could also happen is you could be entering therapy. You could have a therapeutic experience, being exposed or tormented, mental or emotional turmoil, being under a lot of pressure, receiving bad news, an egregious offense. You could be grieving or mourning. This could be the death of a pet, the death of a sibling or a close relative, or they could be in crisis. This can bring a need for revision. Again, I'm talking about Pluto conjoining Mercury. Feeling forced to give in or concede, having a deep conversation, feeling more empowered. You could be undergoing a major change in terms of work because of the Capricorn influence. You could be in need for a car repair, or maybe your car needs to get a major inspection, like an emissions test. You could be trading your car in or refinancing. Your car could get towed. You could have a serious injury of the arm or hand. And if that's true, it could be in the form of a crushing blow, because we're talking about Pluto. You could end up with a disorder of the eyes or ears, like an eye infection, like pink eye. Major change or rebirth in terms of mindset, gaining a different perspective, being very perceptive, taking an intensive or rigorous course, the ability to absorb information effortlessly, being controversial, being outnumbered or overpowered, coercion, being strong-armed, being manipulated, verbal abuse, getting rid of unnecessary papers or other items, purging people from your life, dealing with nasty individuals, a need to be more selective or exclusive. So those are some of the possible manifestations of that Pluto landing on your Mercury. And again, this is going to become exact 3 times in 2022. So this is one of your major transits that will be taking place. So basically, with that being said, you can expect 2022 to be one of your more dynamic and pivotal years, just off of that transit alone. Chiron will enter your 10th house, which will be very significant in terms of career changes, but it can also bring some issues with your mother. That's going to take place on, oh my God, where is it? February 24th. And then Saturn's going to square your Chiron on April 15th and July 27th. So some of what could occur with that transit is an unreal experience, dealing with a quack, an abnormality, an unsettling, I'm sorry, my grandkitty is scratching my foot. Stop it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell, but she's doing this on purpose because she knows I'm trying to record this. An unreal experience, dealing with a quack, an abnormality, an unsettling experience, a nonsensical solution, attempting to evade responsibility, or crushing defeat, skirting a law or regulation, being out of pocket, an unexpected setback. A problem reopens old wounds, or there could be a problem with the healing process of a wound. This could be a farce, a fake, or a fraud, an unusual health concern. Also keep in mind that your Chiron's in Taurus. Let me just double check and make sure that's true. Yeah. Chiron's in Taurus. So this could play out as some type of financial issue that takes place. You might find that you have to rein in your spending and be more cautious with the money you're spending. There could be a purchase that goes wrong or something like that. Major insult, an event or experience that leaves a bad taste in your mouth, a sudden fall from grace, being jeered or booed, a request or an exemption or reprieve is denied. I'm sorry, for an exemption or reprieve is denied. Refusing to go along with the crowd, extenuating circumstances, being in disbelief, not having a leg to stand on, dumping a project before it reaches completion. You could be going through a situation where somebody reneges on a promise, an indecent proposal. This could be a period of great instability or where you could be feeling less secure, especially because your Chiron is in Taurus. So just expect the unexpected with this one because Saturn's in Aquarius. You could be going through some issue with a friend, and it could be over values, could be over money. Uranus enters your 11th house on April 17th, so that's going to be significant. You might be gaining a friend with Uranus transit in your 11th house. You could be doing better in terms of money as well. Could be receiving a lump sum of money, but Uranus will be in your 11th house for quite a while. So you can't expect everything that it brings to happen overnight. The North Node will land on your Chiron on April 29th. So you could be going to attending a special event. There could be a money situation that arises. You could be getting your hands on some extra money. You could be creating a new income stream. Again, since this conjunction is going to be in Taurus, just think about the Taurus themes and the fact that they'll be augmented through this transit. Again, North Node landing on your Chiron. So some of what could happen is you could receive exceptional service. A special event could provide a new experience. You could be healed through the use of a new or alternative method, or it could just deal with healing, period. Now, there could also be some injury as well. So you could injure your neck, or you could just have some neck strain. Could be an issue with food. Could have a bad food experience. So be careful what you eat around that time. A departure from custom, joining a special interest group, being highly offended, a big surprise, a unique group activity, being the pick of the litter, receiving special recognition, seeing is believing, especially with that Taurus influence, because with Taurus, it's like you gotta verify and shit needs to be tangible for you to believe it. A serious wound could develop or could be inflicted, could be emotional, doesn't have to be physical. Reaping what you have sown, a new treatment plan is established. It's either now or never. Also, you got to keep in mind that while the North Node is going to be landing on your Chiron, the transiting South Node is going to be opposing it. So you got to be on guard for any type of signs of fraud or anything out of the ordinary. Uranus will square your Mars on May 15th and December 21st. This is a very, I'll say, could be potentially life-altering transit. Some unexpected changes could occur, and this could potentially create problems like a shutdown or a disruption, malfunction. Also, you could be injured. So you got to be careful with this. You could be going through a personality crisis. So some of what could occur, changing horses midstream, feeling inferior, feeling small, impotence. Actually, I think I had this transit. I'm trying to think, when did this happen? Because I have written down a very tall man is towering over you. And I think I got that from my own personal experience. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see, that would have been when Uranus was in Pisces. So yeah, I'm almost certain I experienced that, and that's why I wrote that down. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen with you. Now, you could be going through a period of abstinence. You could be involved in a crazy or unexplainable situation, misrepresentation. This could be a sudden cessation or a sudden disruption, inability to work or being out of work, displaying extreme apathy or indifference, being bullied, not standing up for yourself, disloyalty. If you're in a relationship, there could be some infidelity going on. You could be dealing with an upsetting situation, being ostracized, dealing with a crazy or nonsensical person. The ugly truth is revealed, quitting, a major disagreement, refusing to get in, ending a friendship or an association, unwanted changes, making a fuss, being outnumbered, being aloof, an enforced separation, sudden separation, switching up as a way of exercising self-preservation, dealing with a barrier to entry, feeling shut out. Chiron's going to square your ascendant on June 19th or August 18th. So with that, you just got to be very careful when it comes to physical activity. You could injure yourself around that time, but this is another transit that could cause you to kind of go through a personality crisis, or I should say identity crisis. And you could be doing some things that are out of the ordinary. Some of your behavior could be shocking to others and to yourself. Just know you need to just be more cautious and careful around the times when Chiron is going to square your ascendant, because that's a big deal. You might be going through some type of change in terms of your physical appearance, and it might not be a change that you are particularly fond of. The North Node will square your Mars on September 25th. That's a pretty significant transit to have to undergo. And with that, you could be getting a raw deal, could be outnumbered or overpowered, could be dealing with some interpersonal conflict, could be put on the defensive, challenges with being authentic, could be somebody could be inciting your anger. You could be dealing with a frustrating situation. This cat is acting up. Yeah, go in the closet. Jesus. An issue arises with respect to your name or a form of identification. An injury to the head or the face could occur. Lacking energy or drive, losing momentum, an inability to move forward, being singled out, coercion, a daunting task, an inability to surmount an obstacle on your own, an external threat, an unpleasant or lackluster sexual experience, change in the level of sexual activity, your back is up against the wall, being pressured to act, feeling feverish, a period of inactivity, being forced to begin again, a problem with a renewal process, lacking strength, a harmful substance, an irritant causes a rash, an issue involving a male of significance, cutting off your nose to spite your face, an event could trigger a fight or flight response, being in a rush puts you at risk for unintended consequences, a bad haircut or hairstyle, dissatisfaction, being indignant, a need to alter your mode of operation. And then lastly, the North Node is going to land on your 11th house cusp on October 25th. And then it will make its way into your 10th house, because the North Node goes backwards because it's retrograde. When the North Node lands on your 11th house cusp, you are likely to scrap some goals and or future plans. Your hopes could be dashed with respect to that which you have been striving for. It will be a time to seek some alternatives. A friend may be in trouble or crisis. And again, just remember that this is going to be Taurus energy. So on one hand, you could be undergoing a change in terms of your financial situation, and it could be for the better. Now, while the North Node enters your 10th house, you will more than likely become more focused on your career path. You could be changing your line of work. There could be a challenge concerning your mother or your father, even, because the South Node is going to be making its way through your 4th house. The North Node in the 10th will bring the challenge of balancing your domestic life with your professional life. The karmic debt collector will come knocking on the door of your 4th house, the house that pertains to your home, family, and the innermost aspects of yourself. And again, I've taken what I just said from this book on transits that I've been working on for the past several years. And because my schedule is always packed, I have very little time to add to the book, but I really hope I can get most of it, if not all of it, completed by before this year is over. But yeah, so basically I just recommend that you go back to this video and just, listen to it from time to time, just so you can just keep abreast of what's coming down the road for you, and you could be ready for what may come. So I hope that this reading provides you with some insight and understanding of what you could be facing for 2022. And again, I just want to thank you and everybody else for being so patient with me during my time of recovery and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for more videos. I will be back. I just have one more birthday reading to do for the past couple of months, late December going into January. So stay tuned for that. All right, so I will be back. Peace.